Now we're going to have another film clip. This is a very short 5-minute clip put together by the Resource Centre team from a highly regarded 2009 Al Jazeera series, Corporations on Trial. This is to introduce Martyn Day's talk.
August 2006. A ship docks in the port city of Abidjan, Ivory Coast. Trucks pull up and chemical slops are pumped into their tanks. Throughout the night, the trucks dump the waste on at least 16 sites across the city. The next morning, residents awake to an overwhelming, stinging smell. Protests break out around the capital, and international cleanup teams arrive to remove the chemicals less than 4 weeks later. Over the following months, 17 die, and around 100,000 people are diagnosed with poisoning. British solicitor Martyn Day is representing 30,000 of them in the largest group action in British history.
Can we just go through to the law court's front entrance, please?
Well, in the end, the primary issue for me is to get compensation for my clients. You know, and I don't care how it comes, really, whether it drops out of the sky. I mean, if we have to go through trial, we'll absolutely go through trial. But I know from my client's view, the crucial thing is to get them compensation as much as possible, as quickly as possible.
In the dock is the multinational company Trafigura. It is the world's third largest independent oil trader.
The way that a case works is that first issue is you've got to show that the company Trafigura here had a duty of care to the people of the Ivorian coast and to Abidjan, and that they breached it. And that is all about us trying to show that they knew that the waste was toxic, they could have disposed of it in Rotterdam properly, they decided not to because of the price, they decided to take it down to Abidjan, they passed it to a totally too-big company that had no facilities apart from dumping it in an open waste site. We would say that Trafigura had a big responsibility to know exactly what they were dumping, and yet they don't. So we will be saying to the judge, well, if there are uncertainties, don't make those uncertainties play against the claimants, you know, make them play against the defendants.
In November 2008, the company announces that to save time and costs, they will no longer defend themselves against the charge of having neglected their duty of care. For Martyn Day, this means he must now direct all his efforts towards proving causation, showing that it was the waste which caused the illness.
We've got a team of 55 people now working just on this one case, which is a heck of a size. In fact, people have come from around the world. It's been a case that has attracted in, you know, the really massively good quality people who are obviously very keen to work on a case like this.
Martyn Day's case is a group action, the most efficient way of dealing with a large number of claims against the same defendant. The paralegals collect information from the victims to see if they qualify as plaintiffs.
So you have about 3 or 4 different bits of information to check. Presumably the occupation is quite an important...
No, because it's always wrong.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's a great concern that people will fall through the cracks. We had to make a judgment call as to whether we accepted people without any documentary evidence. Once you do that, you're on a hiding to nothing, because people will just queue up for hours and tell you they were ill, and you've just got no way of knowing. And it just brings the whole process into somewhat disrepute and gives us no structure for it. So rather than being in a position where we just had no way of telling, we felt from the start that we really did need to have some sort of documentary proof. That means that probably a significant number of people will end up never being compensated for what they went through. But I think at times you've just got to look at the greater good in terms of what you can realistically achieve in these cases.
How just in a case like this is justice?
Well, I mean, that is a very complex question, because, you know, you can say, well, Trafigura, their chief executive goes to prison for 4 months, they get fined effectively £100 million, and hopefully we will be successful in the cases, and Trafigura will be ordered to pay a lot more, and the individuals are properly compensated. So in some ways you can say, actually, it's a case that's worked quite well, you know, in terms of its overall pattern. I think what's not worked that well has been that there's been a strong desire, I think, within Abidjan to see Trafigura itself in the dock, actually having to defend the charges about what it did.
Martyn Day's case to receive compensation for the victims is scheduled to be heard in October 2009. Trafigura may lose more money, but until international law changes, it is unlikely that the Trafigura bosses are going to face criminal charges.